Hey guys, so welcome back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, I actually want to talk about seasoned authors, well-known authors, but talk about their debut novels, where it began. So I have a couple that I want to share with you. I think, what, 8, I think. So yeah, let's just get started. So the first one, which I'm going to probably say through this whole video, my favorite, I love, you have to read. So yeah, but my first one is Terry McMillan's Mama. Now, as you guys know, when you talk about Terry McMillan, you think about I Still Got Our Groove Back, of course, Waiting to Exhale. Now, if I have to be honest, Mama is actually my favorite. This is, talks about, it's almost like a semi-autobiographical novel. The main protagonist, Frida, is just, oh my goodness, I love Frida. She has two sisters and one brother, and that mom Mildred is just, she is a spitfire. The things that she does to just keep her family afloat, keep her afloat, she does some things that are a bit concerning, but once you read the book you realize she's really just doing it to survive. And this book is a masterpiece. I mean, Terry McMillan, her dialogue is unmatched. No one can write dialogue like Terry McMillan. She is known for that. So obviously we all love Waiting to Excel, but guys, please pick up Mama, her debut novel, and it does not read like a debut novel at all. But this one I really enjoyed. The next, which you have to mention this author, when you talk about Black debut novels, and it is Maya Angelou. I Know Where the Cage Bird Sings. This is one of my favorites. This is the first book I picked up on my own when I was about 14 years old. And just, I saw myself in Maya, her living with her grandmother, her being really close to her older brother, her being, raised by her grandmother and kind of being abandoned by, her mother, but coming back, coming back to her mother and having this beautiful relationship. It's just, this book is just phenomenal. Yeah. Another author that, again, you have to mention is Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye. Now, if I'm going to be honest, this is probably not my favorite book by Toni Morrison. Sula and God Help the Child is my favorite. But, I mean, Toni Morrison, like no other, there's no one that can write like Toni Morrison. That's all I'm going to say. So, yeah. Next is James Baldwin, Go Tell on the Mountain. This is also autobiographical. Him living with his mom, his parents, and James, actually, they thought James was going to be a preacher because he just was so, well versed. He, he could capture an audience at a young age, and that's really what his family thought he was gonna be. But of course, with James, he was gonna step out the box. But this is such a great debut novel, and it's only like 200 and something pages, and this is talking about his whole life. But guys, pick it up. Such a good read. I mean, come on now, it's James Baldwin. Next is, which this one I have not read. I've read his other books, but I haven't read. Richard Wright's Uncle Tom's Children. I know this title is inspired by Harriet Beecher Stowe's book, Uncle Tom's Cabin. I know these are short stories. It came out in 1938. Because I've only read Native Son and Black Boy, which those are really hard to read. His books they're so complex, but they make you think. They're necessary, but he is kind of hard to read because of his subject matters, dealing with, Black men in society and how unjust it is, to them. And yeah, but I do want to get into this. So, because I really do like Richard Wright's writing. His writing is superb. Next is Elynn Harris. I love Elynn Harris, Invisible Life. This is actually a trilogy. such a phenomenal, you know, book. Elynn Harris, he was one of the first Black men to really talk about sexuality, talk about homosexuality, talk about transgender. And these books came out in the 90s. So he was like breaking barriers, you know, back then. And his writing, unbelievable. He's one of those writers, well, where I almost forget that this is like a male writing, because sometimes for me, I have a hard time when like when male authors write female characters, because sometimes they just can get it wrong, and especially if they're Black. But with him, he knows how to do it. He can write a female Black character like no other. So yeah. Next is, this is another one I have not read. And it is Zadie Smith's White Teeth. Now, for some reason, I have all of her books and I haven't read them yet, which I need to stop doing. I need to read Zadie Smith because I saw an interview that she did with another author that I'm going to mention. And after I saw the interview, I was like, oh, I have to get her writing, because she was just so lyrical in the way that she just articulated her, you know, her words and everything in that interview. And I'm like, I have to get Zadie Smith's, you know, works. So I do have all of her books. I just need to read them. But yeah. Now the next one, which I know some people, they're not really vibing with her, but I absolutely adore this author. Her writing is like no other, and it is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I know she's kind of controversial right now, but I adore Chimamanda. When I got back into reading, which is about 3 or 4 years ago, I got into African literature, and she was the one that I picked up. I picked up her short stories, Thing Around Her Neck, and after that I wanted to read her debut novel, and Purple Hibiscus is phenomenal. This deals with a girl named Kabila. She lives with her mom and dad in obviously Nigeria. Her dad is really, he's extremely harsh and he's extremely religious. But the things he does is just unbelievable. And you just see how she has to navigate in this world with her brother, and, you know, and her mother. And, oh, Chimamanda is like no other. I'm sorry. I adore Chimamanda. I honestly do. And her writing is unbelievable. I'm waiting for her to write another novel, because I can't get enough. She's one of the authors where when I see she has something out, I pick it up. I like automatically. I'm gonna pick up her works because just unbelievable. And last but not least, this is my favorite author of all times. I have all of her books. I've read all of them, and it is Bernice L McFadden. Sugar. This is her debut novel. Unbelievable. You guys know if I like something, I will get it in 2 copies, and I have 2 copies. This actually came out in 2020. It was reissued. And it has a beautiful foreword by Kimberly Elise. Guys, please pick this up. Now, out of all these recommendations, I'm probably going to say Sugar by Bernice L McFadden. Bernice can write anything. She honestly can write anything. This is my favorite author of all times. And when you read Sugar, you're not going to forget about Sugar Lacey. Like, you cannot. You can't forget about this character. She's undescribable. She's just, oh yeah, I'm gushing, because you guys, please pick up a Bernice L McFadden book. And my favorite is probably Praise Song for the Butterfly, but if you're gonna pick up any Bernice McFadden book, I would say pick up her debut novel, Sugar, because you will not regret it. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. I just wanted to share with you these debut authors by seasoned authors, by, you know, well-known authors. And that's all I have. So I'll be back with more books by Blacks. Bye.